Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to Woodworks. Today I'm going to talk about changing your blade and brake cartridge on your SawStop after an activation. Activations can happen either, number one, when you make contact with the blade, which is what it's there for, or number two, there can be accidental ones depending on the material that you're cutting. Either way, if you've had an activation, now you have to change out your blade and brake cartridge. I just want to point out before we start that everything I'm going to talk about is outlined in your handy dandy SawStop owner's manual. I think this is really well written. It's got a lot of worthwhile knowledge in it, so keep it nearby. Before we get into the saw and start changing things, I want to make sure first that it's unplugged, so not connected to any electrical power. And then next, make sure that my switches are turned off. Then I'm going to come over and remove my blade guard and insert. So just by lifting up here, I can easily remove the insert. And then there's a big gray lever back here. I'm going to lift up on that and easily remove my blade guard. Let's set that to the side. Now I need to loosen the blade. And so I'll get out my nice big wrenches here and loosen up that arbor nut. And remove the arbor washer. The next thing I'm going to do is look for the big red cartridge key, and that's down in the cartridge, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise and then remove it by pulling it to the right. So that's it. It is keyed, so it only go in one way and only comes out one way. We'll set that guy to the side. So now it's time to remove the fused blade cartridge and brake. Sometimes I use my wrench for a little extra leverage. There we go. So there it is. That's what it looks like when the brake cartridge is activated. That aluminum brake pawl pushes up into your blade, and that blade will really dig in and stop it. Now it's time to put on the new set. So here's my brand new brake cartridge. There's only one way to put it on. Little pins here are going to point to the left, and there's a big silver pin I'm looking for down there, and that's going to align with that bottom hole underneath that cylinder. If I can find those things, I'm home free. Just align that and rock it up into place. A firm push over to the left, make sure that it's seated. Then I'm going to grab that cartridge key, and I think of this as an arrow. If it's pointing up towards me, I've got it in the right orientation. That way the little keyway is going to align itself. So I just find that little hole there, push it in firmly to the left, and then seat that key down 90 degrees. You'll feel it fall into place. Now my brake cartridge is in place. All I got to do now is change out my blade. So pop that guy on, replace the arbor washer and the arbor nut. Give them a little bump. Good deal. Now, last thing I want to do is reset the arbor. If it is activated at a certain speed, the arbor is actually going to drop, which allows the blade to drop down below the surface of the saw. That's all spring activated. But what I want to do now is lower the blade all the way down till it bottoms out. That's going to reset that spring on the arbor. There it goes. And then roll it back up. Now I can replace the blade guard or riving knife, whichever I'm using, and the insert. And at that point, I can plug it back in, pull out the main paddle to power the saw on. I did the wrong one. There it goes. It's going to go through its diagnostic process. And when I get a solid green light, I know it's safe and ready to roll. There we go. So the whole process takes just a few minutes. If you've actually had an activation, I always recommend sitting down for a few minutes, maybe have a cold drink and relax, let the adrenaline drain out of your system a little bit. But if you need any help with any of those things, feel free to give us a call or stop by here at the store. We'd be glad to talk it through with you. Thanks for watching.